Hey, it's Lee for On Your Marks Wrestling, and I'm here with an NXT review for May 30th, 2018. We start the show with a video kind of replay of the Gargano-Ciampa feud, everything that happened last week, and they reveal that there's going to be a Chicago street fight at the next Takeover, which I'm guessing is in Chicago. It's logic. Then we have Aleister Black, who comes out. He says he only needs one shot to put away either of Velveteen Dream or Ricochet. Lars Sullivan comes out and he says the debate's over. He's going to be the opponent for Black in Chicago. Sullivan grabs Black by the throat. Black kind of breaks out of it, tries to go for Black Mass. Sullivan catches it, and then he hits the freak accident on him. Stands tall, kind of shows his dominance. That was cool. Then we have the War Raiders. They're in a match versus a couple jobbers. It's George Hickson, I think, and Cody Vincent. I wrote that Hanson has the prettiest big man cartwheel ever, even nicer than Bam Bam Bigelow. Not much to this match. There's a heart attack, which I wrote. The old Bret Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart move with the clothesline on a kind of raised opponent, we'll say. And they do their leg drop finisher, and that's about it. We have a video package of the Dakota Kai Shayna Baszler feud. It's fine, whatever. Lacey Evans cuts an interview with Kathy Kelly where she just says that she's going to be Kairi Sane next week. Really nothing to it. Then we have a match between EC3 and Fabian Eichner. I really like how much EC3 really feels his song. He loves his theme song. I kind of enjoy that. EC3 sends Eichner to the outside, kind of falls on the ropes. Then Gargano comes out with a signed contract and announces to the crowd that he's signed his contract. I didn't feel like this was necessary. They already announced the street fight for the TV viewers. They could have done something not on camera for this. Then Eichner does a crossbody onto EC3, who had been distracted on the outside. It was very impressive, went very high with it. But eventually EC3 hits an SOS type move. It's not an SOS, but I don't know what the move would actually be called. And then he hits his 1%er, and he gets the win. We have a kind of extended video promo for Bianca Belair showing her background, her family's legacy as trailblazers, her athletic prowess, which is actually very impressive. And you can see it when she's in the ring. So, yeah, they just kind of run her, really talk her up, and deservedly so. I think she's going to be the champion soon. Then we have a match. It's Ricochet versus Chris Dijak. I can't remember how they said it. I thought it was smart to put Ricochet in a match against a big guy. At one point, I also wrote that Ricochet does axe kicks, and those are cool. Dijak catches a suicide dive and essentially turns it into a chokeslam onto the apron on Ricochet. He then hits a springboard elbow and attempts a moonsault. But you're kind of seeing that this guy's a legit guy. He's not just a typical jobber. One of the most impressive things was Ricochet does a deadlift vertical suplex on him, because this guy's quite a bit bigger than Ricochet. And then he hits his 630 eventually for the win. After the win, he grabs a mic, he talks up Velveteen Dream, but then he calls him a punk. Velveteen Dream comes out, says that anything Ricochet can do, he can do better. Ricochet calls him into the ring. Dream kind of teases it, but then leaves and says they'll face each other at Chicago, so we know about that match now. And then Ricochet does a basically tope con hilo to the outside, but lands on his feet and just walks up to Dream, and Velveteen Dream is just in disbelief that happened. It was very impressive. And then we get the final match of the night. It's Dakota Kai versus Shayna Baszler. They've been building this up for a while. Baszler attacks Kai's leg early, and she does a lot of stuff to it. Some of it looks pretty brutal. She recreates the elbow move on Kai's ankle. Kai does get a little comeback. It took a little too while to happen, but she gets a comeback. She lands her 2 corner kicks, like the kick when she's standing and then when she's sitting. Kai goes for her weird finisher. I don't know what you would ever call it, but she kind of falls to the wayside. I feel like it was a bit of a botch, but Baszler grabs her, puts her in a lock. I think it's Cocoon Clutch. And then Kai taps. Baszler reapplies the hold after the match, and that's when Nikki Cross comes out. She kind of pulls Baszler off. Baszler essentially walks away with her belt instead of facing Cross in any way. Cross runs out, steals the belt from her to draw her back into the ring. She challenges Baszler. Baszler's kind of reluctant to do it. Eventually, though, she hits her neckbreaker finisher on Baszler, and Kai counts the 3 count as if she was the ref. Doesn't mean anything, but Cross takes the belt and runs away with it. So Baszler no longer has her belt, but she's still the champion. And that's the end of the episode. Not the greatest episode, but not far from the worst. I thought there were a couple cool things that happened here. Not much in terms of like really great matches or great endings to matches. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 7.5 out of 10. Alright, thanks for watching.